We've already looked at the original Lenovo Yoga book when it came out a few years ago, and while we found it an interesting product that was pushing the technical boundaries a bit, it was fatally flawed as far as the usability goes, and we were quite hoping to see the next revision that we're reviewing today, the C930. So, does it improve on the predecessor and is it actually usable? Stick around and find out. First things first, the Yoga line from Lenovo has always been stunning to look at. It has this high quality finish, a sleek yet sturdy build quality that doesn't feel like it's gonna break in our hands, and it has the performance to boot. But that's what you get in every other laptop that's in this price range. Hell, in most of the cases you get better specifications. So what does it have that the competitors don't? Well, it's quite obvious, isn't it? You're not typing on a physical keyboard when using it. You're not typing on a display as it was the last time. Well, it is a display, but it's an e-ink display. The latter is the thing that stands out the most when first looking at the Lenovo Yoga book, as it has this sharpness that is inherent to e-ink displays that you just don't get on LED or OLED screens. It just isn't the same, which is also very responsive for an e-ink panel. You can't expect it to have 144 or 240 Hz refresh rate, far from that, as it updates a few times a second, but still when trying to draw on it, as it's also a Wacom tablet, it has almost no obvious lag, except if you go really hardcore and try to overload the processing chip, and then it lags a bit, but it's nothing that would substantially worsen our experience of using it. The sketching mode is the thing that differentiates it from the competition, as it has an incredible amount of details that you can get out of the sketches, as it has over 1000 force points that enable a good gradation when drawing with the pen. It also includes a force touch functionality that has 4 different functionalities built in, and is good enough for basic work, so hobbyists, quick sketching, making short notes on the tablet or work surface. That goes hand in hand with the form factor that is very portable, lightweight, and lasts a long time. But it's not for serious work. And that has to be said, it's not for serious work. It's only bitmap, so it's only black or white. You can't do shadows, and you can't even do colors. So the applications are limited. And that's also the experience we get from the e-ink keyboard that has this vibration feedback. It looks good, it's realistic, and has this nice feedback that can be also turned off. But it's a far cry from any physical keyboard. It just proves the point why BlackBerry lasted so long on the mobile stage, just because of the physical keys, when it was vastly overmatched by every other competitor on the market. Well, a physical keyboard, no matter how bad, is infinitely better than any force feedback. You just can't get any speed and consistency out of. Maybe you could with lots of effort invested and time. In our limited 2 weeks of use with the Yoga book, we just didn't get to that stage that it felt natural, not by any stretch of the imagination. But then again, I believe that the product isn't meant for a serious worker. It's meant for a technology enthusiast that likes the tech and can appreciate it being bleeding edge, and that can live with the few quirks that are always a consequence of using first generation devices. But it has to be said that the Yoga book looks incredibly elegant, modern, and premium, with its matte dark grey in combination with the glossy black on the inside, with the minimum Lenovo grey engraving on the upper. It doesn't scream Lenovo, but it's still there. The screen and its performance that is great however you look at it, no matter if it's positioned this way, that way, or any other way. And when looking at the Yoga book from that prism, it's a perfectly reasonable product. It can work if you can live with the consequences. But still, given this is a tech review of an enthusiast that tries to nitpick whenever possible, I have to point out a few obvious shortcomings, such as the buttons that are way too sensitive, as when handling the device, when positioning it on our lap, it just happened every other time the laptop was in our hands that we pressed a button and changed the volume or even sent it to sleep. Likewise, the copy button on the Wacom pen is a good idea, a very good idea actually. It's just either too sensitive or positioned too low on the pen, so that when you're trying to draw something or sketch something out, you accidentally press a button, copy the image from the desktop. Quite annoying. I have to also notice the uneven responsiveness of the pen, which just doesn't work as consistently as it does in the middle portion of the screen of the menu bar, which was quite frustrating to use, as you'd have to press multiple times, sometimes harder, sometimes softer. It didn't respond to anything consistently. All of the aforementioned problems were further amplified by the responsiveness when the surface on which we were drawing wasn't meticulously cleaned and had some fingerprints or smudges from our fingers on it. If you can live with these obvious shortcomings though, I'm sure that the Lenovo Yoga Book will be a product you'll be happy to use, casually of course. Thanks for watching this review on Discharge Networks. Don't forget to comment or like to see more videos like this in the future.